Okay, I think we may be back up. So let me just go double check. Hey, chat, if y'all in here, yep. Part two is in here. Let me grab this link in case some of the chat is still in the other one. Just come on over to this one. All right. Apologies, chat. Not quite sure, and it's still acting weird. Not quite sure what happened earlier, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to finish up this scientific method with Pat Nosey Walker, who's still on the horn right now, and he's going to discuss now the final rookie that we had lined up for you, and that's Marshawn Nealon. But Pat, let me make sure you're still good to go on here. Cowboys Nation, can y'all hear Pat?
Yo.
Yeah,
You got me?
You should be good. You should be good. But picking up where we left off, we were talking about you were talking about JSJ, John Stevens Jr., and DeMar Van Overshown, how those guys were looking good. I kind of want to transition now into Marshawn Nealon, who you said won some reps out there with against some of the first team offensive linemen, and you brought up violence. This dude right here might be one of your most violent draft picks that you selected.
Indeed. And what's crazy is he has that sneaky smile because off the field, he doesn't look like he's going to be that violent, that brutal. But when he puts that hand in the dirt, he is exactly that. And he was getting a ton of burn with the first team reps, especially with Micah not in the building quite yet. So you talk about CeeDee Lamb not being in the building and how the young guys need to benefit or take advantage of those opportunities. That's Marshawn leaving in OTAs right now in the absence of Micah Parsons. He's getting a lot of burn alongside Sam Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously, as far as the edge rotation goes. And he was basically handling guys. I mean, he didn't win every rep, but he damn sure won plenty of them. And in the fashion in which he was winning the reps, it was with violence more often than not. He won a couple with speed around the edge, but you can readily tell that he's going to be one of the best run defending edge players for the Cowboys alongside DeMarcus Lawrence. And that's going to be something that he has over Sam Williams. But something Sam Williams has over him is Sam is a more pure pass rusher. So if Marshawn Nealon can develop that pass rush aspect, he can be that much more damaging. But he was definitely giving Chuma Edoga.
Of course.
I wouldn't even say a run for his money. Like, he was taking him on a ride. He really was taking him on a ride.
I mean, I should be shocked, but I'm just saying that's interesting though.
You know, he was taking him on a ride, and now that sets the stage in my eyes, because that's not entirely shocking, because it goes without saying. I think we can all agree Chuma Edoga is a serviceable backup guard, but doesn't need to be playing left tackle. So right. I'm not entirely shocked there, but that's not to take anything away from Marshawn Nealon, because it's still a veteran going against a rookie and basically getting walked a time or two. Now, again, that sets the stage in my eyes for Marshawn Nealon versus Tyler Guyton when those matchups start to crop up in training camp, because Guyton is much more athletic than Edoga. Guyton is stronger than Edoga. Guyton is bigger than Edoga. But Marshawn Nealon, he's bigger than you think he is. He's more violent than you think he is. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. But as it stands, yeah, Chuma Edoga wasn't able to give him much of a challenge yesterday, which again is a credit to the rookie, because that shows he's coming in ready to go.
I didn't hear much from really anyone out there about Sam. With Micah not attending this week, was Sam the first one called up?
Sam was the first one called up, yes. And Sam played well in practice. He practiced well. And the reason you're not hearing anything coming out of yesterday's practice for Sam is because he didn't do anything wrong, right? And then when you're looking at OTAs, you're looking at it from the aspect of trying to really key in on the rookies. Where are they playing these rookies? How do the rookies look against these veterans in full team practice and 7-on-7 drills and things like that? So that's why the crux of my observations were centered around the rookies. But I did keep an eye on some veterans as well. Obviously, I spoke about Kevontae Turpin as one of the veterans who stood out yesterday. But I didn't see Sam do anything wrong yesterday. So no red flags there, or more accurately, no yellow flags there on yesterday. He got into the opposing backfield, as often as you would expect Sam to do, which is quite a bit. He did have his struggles a time or two, but you're not going to win every rep. And no one's doubting Sam Williams' pass rush ability. I would like to see him get a little bit better with defending the run. So kind of like what I was saying with Nealon, if Nealon can develop the pass rush, he'll be that much more of an impact guy. If Sam can develop the run defense off of the edge, he'll be that much more of an impact guy. And, of course, delete the untimely penalties that change games in favor of the opposition. But, yeah, Sam, acquitted himself well in practice yesterday. Nothing that stood out. No offsides penalties, nothing that was unnecessary. So looks like he's, at least right now, he's able to control his motor and understand that there's a difference between the value of having a high motor and knowing when to gear down.
Well, we know one thing for sure. Mike Zimmer and Jeff Skanina, they are not with the shits when it comes to that. Mr. Incredible sounds very intimidating. And Mike Zimmer is obviously the old man that's going to yell at you to get off his lawn if you are offsides. So he's going to have to.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, whether it be Sam Williams or anyone else on the defense, if you're costing the team field position with penalties, you're not going to be on the field.
Oh, I love to hear that, Pat. Oh, I love it. That accountability.
And it doesn't matter what name is on the back of the jersey. I'm telling you right now, Zimmer and Zonina, they're like you said, they are not with the shits. I have seen just yesterday, I saw Zonina really not necessarily turn into a guy, but there was a little bit of a light moment in practice, and he shut that down. He was like, no, we're here to practice. We're here to focus, not dance. I was like, okay, here we are, folks. Here we are.
Hey, that's so crazy. I meant to actually bring this up because the other day one of my things was that I wanted to watch was how does this defense adjust to the attitude change from the coaching staff? Because no offense to Dirt A and DQ, those were, hey, I'm gonna put my arm around you, hey, everything's good, you're my guy, and things like that. And I know they coached hard from time to time, but it's without a shadow of a doubt there's a difference in how Skanina and Zimmer coach. And I was just wondering, how are they going to adjust to the attitude change? So to hear you say all that dancing and stuff, they're not with it, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm very curious to see how farther along this goes and who eventually, is able to take it and maybe weeds themselves out by the time you get down to the 6 or 53.
And that's where time, as I always say, time is a snitch. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. So we're going to find out who benefits from it in the aspect of, because it's all in how you look at it, right? It's like Al Harris said, and it's like Eric Kendricks is saying when it comes to Zimmer, and it's like even Greg Ellis said when it comes to Skanina. You have to understand it's all coming from a good place. It's because we all want to win. Right. So take the message, not necessarily the plate that the message is being delivered on. Like focus on the food and not the plate. So we'll see, because this is going to be a different regime as far as temperament goes. Now, I will say they do have I think they've struck the perfect balance here, because last year, and I love Aiden Dirty, but where was the Zagonina and the Zimmer temperament last year? Like, who had that in this coaching staff?
Come on. That's what I'm saying.
Now, what you have here is you still have Al Harris, right? Players coach, but he can, Greg Ellis, players coach. But then, those guys are balanced by Zagonina. They're balanced by Mike Zimmer. So now I think the scales are balanced, wherein you have just the right amount of players coaches who can decide and put their arm around you and say, hey, this is what he's trying to tell you. But before that happens, you're going to have Zagonina look at you and say, what the hell is your problem? Right? Because even Zagonina, when we were talking to him, and he called himself a quote-unquote loose cannon, he said he's the raging lunatic. Yeah. And he compared Ryan Kerrigan to Greg Ellis as far as being like the more calm guy. He was talking about balance, which is basically what we're saying here right now. But he also said that on the sidelines, and Zimmer said the same thing, because they asked Zimmer, was he going to be in the box or on the sideline? And he said he'd be on the sideline. And he said it's so that he can coach guys as they're coming off. But then both of them kind of intimated the same thing and said, well, if guys are pissing me off, then it's going to be like, go over there, go sit over there, just go over there. Right? So
I love to hear that, man. I love it.
There's no other way to say it. It's just they are not with the shits. So you are going to play mistake-free football, regardless of the name on the back of your jersey, regardless of what your contract says you're getting paid, or you're not going to be on the field for Mike Zimmer. That's the energy that I'm getting.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the science. Hey, Pat, appreciate you coming through and sticking with me through that little technical difficulty, man. I know you got to get to a meeting, man, but we will be wrapping next week. And that, can you give us quickly the schedule for next week? I know they have like a small break before they start the second part of OTAs.
Yeah, so next week's going to be media availability, media day. I believe it's going to be on Thursday. If you give me a second, I'm going to keep talking while I look this up. And then after next week is when you're going to have mandatory minicamp, which begins on June 4th and runs through June 6th. And if my email participates, I'll give you the actual. I know it's next Thursday when they're going to have media availability. It is. Give me a second.
It's all good.
So
they only give y'all one day.
I got you. McCarthy's going to have his press conference next Thursday at 10:45. Practice is going to be just before noon. Locker room opens up like around 2 p.m. So next Thursday, you're going to start to see people like Micah Parsons, who's expected to be in the building. He should be available to speak to the media, and that's going to be a big talking point for everyone because it'll be his first time speaking to the media formally in the building this offseason. So next Thursday is something to circle on the calendar. And then the Tuesday in the week after, June 4th through June 6th. And then after that, we hit the dark patch before training camp.
It's all good. We'll still be rapping to you, man. Appreciate you, Pat. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy your weekend, sir. Enjoy King and Queen of the Ring. I know you'll be watching.
Absolutely, bro. Let me talk to you. Talk to y'all later.
That is Pat jumping in, giving us the science, man. When I tell you, I say it so many times, but I'm going to keep saying it. That type of in-depth breakdown, boots on the ground that we get is so exclusive. It's so amazing, man. Drop some fire in the chat for Patrick Nosey Walker. Drop some fire in the chat for the scientific method. I will never, ever, ever take that for granted. There were so many things said right there, little things that can give us some insight on how the Cowboys are thinking, what they want to do, the coaches, how the players are looking, et cetera. And we get that all off season. We get that during the season. It's amazing, man. And Pat went in. And I know this is only less than half of what we had earlier, but appreciate y'all for jumping back in here. We will, like we always do with the scientific method, we'll package this up and we'll drop it again on Saturday. If you guys missed it, you can run it back or you can wait till Saturday. Either way, it was some heat. So what we'll do, because I told you most of today's show is about the scientific method. It's about what happened in OTAs. I can rap to you guys a little bit. If you want to call back in, 351-999-3787. We'll take a couple calls. If not, all good. We'll read some super chats, a little bit of the chat, and we'll get up out of here. So I'll give y'all a little bit to hit the phone lines, and I'll get back into the chat and rap with y'all.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
I just looked over at AG says Sky ain't been this happy since his AARP came in. I noticed I did the shake shit, the Turpin, when Turpin scored, Turpin be like, I don't know, man. To hear, and that was one of the things, right? I mean, I don't know if I still have it up, but that was one of the things. I think I actually do. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. I wanted to see how is this defense going to adjust to the new attitude on that side of the ball. And let me mute that. It sounds like so far so good, but we'll see. We'll get a better idea of it. Hey, shouts out to the OG, the GOAT of this thing, Law Nation in the building, said this is the best morning show on the planet. Man, that's heavy, bro. That is exactly what we're striving for, brother. That's exactly what we're striving for. Appreciate you. All right, let's jump into the phone lines. We got two callers waiting, and It's been a while, but man, shouts out to our guy. No Slurpees. No Slurpees. VIP in the building. What's good, VIP?
Guy is VIP. What's good, my guy?
What's up with you?
Guy, look, man. I've been waiting for something to chew on, and there's a few things I want to pick your brain about. First of all, respect to my guy, yo. When he gives you that inside, bro, that's the inside that can't be tapped in from nowhere else. So I respect that. That's why I love you, Sky.
Appreciate it.
So there's a few players that I really want that's under my microscope that I'm wishing my best prayers for. Overshawn, I'm glad he put on that weight. I've been seeing flicks of him, but I really want to see my guy Turner take that next step in our offense.
Oh, Turpin?
So I call him Turner. Yeah, Turpin. I want to see him take that next step in our offense, because I know that will take our offense to the next level. Because we know he has the speed.
Right.
I think it was the chemistry in Dak, because he's a smaller receiver, so Dak has to have real confidence and trust in him to throw that ball deep. And I think this offseason helped that, right?
He was connected with Turpin deep last year. In fact, he was connected with Turpin. Turpin was just dropping the ball on some of those short routes, but they had a very interesting chemistry last year. Probably a better deep ball connection than Cooks early on and even late. So I'm hoping they continue that connection, and obviously Cooks and Dak, reconnect. And they said he were yesterday, but we'll see if it happens during the games.
So you think the trust was more with Big Mike, with Mike McCarthy, putting him in that position than more or less than Dak?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, when he was in there and a play was designed for him, Dak went to him. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't about Dak not trusting Terp. Terp didn't get a lot of opportunities, in my opinion, VIP, to be involved in the passing game. He was getting jet sweeps, he was getting quick screens, and he had a couple deep balls that were connecting. So I think it's more so not the trust between Dak and Terp, but the trust between Terp and the coaching staff. And I think he gained more trust because he had 140 snaps, which was like 4 times more than he had the previous year. And I think that'll go up. So I think he's gaining more trust. My only thing I didn't push back on Pat about, because it slipped my mind. We saw Turpin last year in training camp. We heard the same things, right? Like, hey, man, Terp's being used more, this and that and this. And then after about the first few weeks, he kind of just started disappearing every other week. So hopefully they keep Turpin involved, because he does bring an element to this wide receiver room that, I know Cooks is a guy, but Turpin can do so many different things for you in the backfield, right away, and even deep. So he's a guy I think you got to get involved a couple times a game.
Now let me flip over to my defense. I want to see my guy Slam.
Yeah.
You have no. I don't think you have a. There's no way you can't give my guy some more burn. His product. I don't want to see him on special teams. I do not want to see him on special teams ever again. Give my guy his burn, man. I think that's what like last year he was making bonehead things because he was just trying to get his energy off. Because he couldn't get his, you know what I mean? So that's the only time he get his energy off. So he down there running, using his 4.4 speed on a damn, come on, man. Look at my guy.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm glad, I'm not glad that, we lost DA, but I think losing DA gives him those extra reps that he need, man. Because I think he's good against the run. He just hasn't been put in that position to get reps.
I think his rookie.
Look at him.
I think his rookie year, he was better against the run after the first few weeks. And then last year, there's something to what you were saying. I think last year he might have been like, man, this is my only opportunity. I'm going to get mine. So he was having a lot of boneheaded plays on special teams, a few offsides on defense. But a lot of his miscues were just him abandoning his responsibilities. So I don't think he can do that with this team. He can't play. And it wasn't just him, right? The whole front unit, it was about getting after the pass rusher as opposed to playing a gap or playing sound defense to stop the run. I'm not saying that Sam won't have the ability to be disciplined. I think he will, and if he's not, he won't play. Like Pat said. So if he can, hone in his technique and discipline on defense, he's got all the skills in the world and the size to be good against the run. You saw some glimpses of it his rookie season, but yeah, it was good to hear that obviously Sam had a good day and he ain't pissed nobody off, because if he pisses off Skanina and them, he out of here.
Facts. Big facts. Now my last bullet is, what are we doing at the safety position? Bell's basically taking over the curse role. What are we doing on our back end? Is 30 going to get more burn? What are we doing?
I don't think you'll see a curse role. I think that's gone. That's done. You're not going to see them run 3 safeties out there more than any team in the National Football League. You might see it occasionally. Zim is a bit more old school. If the personnel package is going to go bigger, he's not going to sub in a safety. He's going to sub in a linebacker, and you're going to have 3 linebackers out there. I think you'll see primarily 2 safeties, and with the occasion, if they want to use a Wanye Thomas as a guy that can slide down and do some slot things like a Brian Branch, and I think he can. I think he can cover like that. Then sure. But I think right now it's Malik and it's Dono. But I said this before, VIP, I would love for them to just take the pool stick, break it, and say the best 2 get out there and win. Because I think Wanye, and that's who you talk about, number 30, I really think he can be the Cowboys' next starting safety, at some point. If not this year, then next year if they decide to move on from one of them.
Respectfully. Yo, this is why I love you, Sky, man. Look, I got to get to work. This is my summertime, do my carpentry outside of radio. So I want to show the love to the real Cowboy Nation. No Slurpees. No Slurpees, B.
No Slurpees,
We're not doing no Slurpees, B.
Nah, not at all, man. Hey, appreciate you, VIP. You be safe out there. Carpentry work outside in the summer. I know how that gets, man.
You know it's all love. How about damn Cowboys? I ain't a killer, but don't push me, B.
Don't push him, man. Don't push him. That's VIP, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you, man. Last one. Let's get to 3-3-4 as we wrap up this thing. What's good, 3-3-4?
What's up, Sky, man? I only got 2 points in the possible, dog.
Oh, 2 in the possible. That ain't enough.
Hey.
What's up? No, I'm just messing.
Hey, man. The best part of the day, man, was hearing OC cook, man. All I could hear is the button saying, "Let him cook," man. He was cooking. He was cooking, bro.
He was. When it cut out, I told him, in the audio or on the phone, I said, "Man, you was cooking. I was back here trying to throw the seasoning on it, man, and then just cut out on me." But it's all good, bro.
He cut the sound off, man.
Killed me.
But man, what made me so hyped, bro, is when he started talking about turping, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I work in a restaurant, so you know what I'm saying. Soon as he started talking about turping, man, I wasn't even gonna call the show. I just wanted to listen. Soon as he started talking about turping, man, I'm in here flexing like the game on, bro. I can't wait to see Turpin get out there, man.
I was trying to bring up some of the B-roll, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they use, because right now they haven't brought in a veteran, right? So it looks like it's going to be Tolbert. I think Tolbert is going to be your wide receiver 3, and then Brooks and Turpin and Tolbert will all be involved potentially in some shape or form. But Turpin, I don't care who wins wide receiver 3 between Tolbert and Brooks. Turpin needs to have a bigger role offensively, because you didn't go out and add more weapons in the backfield or at wide receiver, but he has weaponry type skills. So I'm kind of cautiously optimistic, because it started off hot using Turpin, and then he was kind of fading in and out throughout the season. Whenever this offense gets into a lull, I don't see the issue in giving him a jet sweep, quick screen, something to get you some pop. Because if they roll with Zeke and Royce and Rico, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of huge chunk plays on the ground, because those guys aren't known for that.
And my next thing is, like, I know, like, you know what we expect from, like, Zeke and stuff. Do we try to put Royce in and taking reps with the 1, 2, man?
Oh, with the one?
Because with me, man, my bet, if we gonna start the season right now, what we got, I would start Rico at 1, bro. You know what I'm saying? If he can stay healthy.
Oh, Rico? Oh, Rico, my bad.
Rico.
I thought you said
Rico.
put Royce at 1. Yeah, so it sounds like Rico and Zeke will be splitting those type of duties. Hilariously, though, shouts out to Vach when Vach was breaking down Jeff Blasco. It also sounds like these dudes have no idea what they want to do with the committee. And I don't like to hear that. I like to hear that there is a plan. Now, maybe
that's take it for me.
Yeah, I don't like that. But maybe it's early. They don't know what these guys look like. Don't even know who the hell is going to be the guys on the team. And maybe they just need a few games to figure that out. That's all possible and fair. But it from what it sounds like early on, Rico may be the guy that leads one day. Reek may be the guy that leads another day. Zeke may be the guy that leads another day. So I'm all for the committee approach. But still, you need a plan, right? If you go look at, I always bring up these teams because it is what it is. The San Frans of the world, the Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins. These guys have a plan and a defined role for each and every one of their players, and they execute it each week.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying, man. But I just feel like, Roy should be putting in with the ones too. You know what I'm saying? Just because, he do have the experience as being a power back. You know what I'm saying?
Royce? Royce. So I thought you said something earlier about Royce being 1. I think Royce is fine as a reserve. He's been a reserve his entire career. I think he can thrive in that role. I know Pat said, he was talking about how, like, hey, man, he's got a little more shiftiness to him. If you go watch him last year, he proved that on film. Look, man, I know this is going to anger a lot of Zeke people, but I just see the Zeke signing from a personnel standpoint, from a player-to-player standpoint on the field. I see it as redundant, but Royce is a little bit more. I think got a little bit more pop. But if you add more context to, okay, pass blocker, veteran, locker room, he's been here before, then obviously adding Zeke gives you a little bit more in that department. But Royce Freeman, just player for player, I think he could play the role they're going to ask him to do perfectly fine with possibly a little bit more pop. But they're not going to give him. I think they're going to give him the Zeke role. I think if Royce makes the team, which I think he should, unless he looks terrible. If Royce makes the team, he needs to be a part of this stable. But that's a big if, because I'm always worried about the politics with this team, bro.
Hey, and the last thing, Scott, man, we got linebackers in the room, man.
We got
linebackers in the room, man.
Real linebackers.
Real linebackers, man. Hey, man, you can't. Yeah, man, you gotta be proud, man. You gotta be proud, brother. Well, that's all I had for today, man. Thanks for taking my call, man. Cowboy Nation, what up?
My guy, appreciate you, big dog. Yeah, nobody's really, I'm glad he brought up the Royce thing. And he also brought up something else I had brought up about Royce was, hopefully this doesn't turn into Rico. He wake up and he got a pound in his car and now he's suspended or something. Not Rico. Who's the other cat? I think they start with an R too. The other cat that we had from Tampa Bay last year. Hopefully it doesn't turn into that. I do think he's a better player at this point than he was. But we'll see, man. This room is just, it's so strange. I do know one thing for sure. Zeke and Rico, those are your guys. Period. I saw in the chat, Rojo. I knew it was R. Appreciate it. Ronald Jones. Rico, Ronald, Royce. Anyway, I saw somebody in the chat say that, Snoop Conner is going to take Rico Dowdle's position. I feel like I have to do this a lot. I also saw other things, right, where Moreno Cropper and the other undrafted wide receiver, somebody said that undrafted wide receiver was wide receiver 4. And I'm just like, guys, what? I get it. We have fan favorites. It is what it is. But you can't possibly believe Snoop Conner is going to kick Rico Dowdle off this team if you've been paying attention to this organization. You want to say Deuce, Malik, even Royce. I'm gonna sit here and fight you on these guys who are fringe already. But one thing for certain that I know, Rico Dowdle and did I do that right here? Rico Dowdle. Nope. Where are we at here? Did we? Nope. We way behind. Here we go. There you go. And Ezekiel Elliott are going to be your 1 and 2. You can book that, barring injury. And I'll even wager a friendly bet. Won't be for me, it'd be for the chat. I'll give it away. I'll wager a friendly bet. If anybody wants part of it. Whoever said that. Who said that in the chat? Who said Snoop Connor's taking Rico's spot? Barring injury, Rico Dowdle will not, his spot will not be taken by Snoop Connor. We can definitely bet on that. Was that you, Willie T? He says barring injury, Rico stays hurt. You want to put a bet on that? Barring injury. If he gets hurt, I mean, then there's a competition that happened there. But barring injury, because it sounds like you're saying he's just going to beat him out. I will put whatever you want to, whatever to rage your friendly bet, that will not happen. These are your guys, man. And now after that, Royce, Malik, Deuce, Snoop, then we can talk. We know he gets hurt. We do. He got hurt last year during the season. He didn't get hurt. The last 2 years, Rico did not get hurt in training camp. So if this is about injuries, then I mean, that's a whole different story. But if this is just about player for player, I highly doubt he's going to beat this dude out. So I'm down for a friendly wager. Keith said last time he made a bet with a listener, he didn't pay. I don't know where the dude went. He bet $100 that Tyron Smith was going to play 17 games or something like that. I don't know if it was 17, but he was going to play a whole, more games than he ever did or something. It was like 14 and he ended up playing 13. So, hey, I paid you in shillings. Yeah. Student Boy says Snoop not making the team. Hey, man, I'm rooting for all these guys, but that's a long shot right there. It's a long shot. Foot's in here. Shouts out to the bro Foots. Yeah, there you go. Foot said the running back of the future is 2025. Oh, yeah. I agree. I don't think the running back of the future is on this team. There it goes. Gavin C said this is an easier bet than Tyron playing 7. Yeah, whatever the bet was, I said, sir, why are you doing this? I don't even want to take your money. So I'll take the bet and I'll give it away to the chat, but he ain't never pay up. So I don't know. All right, let's get to some super chats. Appreciate y'all for joining me today. Really good show. Earn supers. I saw one. I don't think we got a bunch. I saw one though. Jump up in. Still them boys. Appreciate you, big dog. He super dropped chat. 2 and said, play the My Subjects clip one more time. Do I still got it? Yes, I do. Let's see.
My subjects.
My subjects. All right, so there you have it. It's Willie T. Snoop will be RB3. I'm RB3. So that I can't really bet you on that one because RB3 I think is definitely up for grabs. I'm not going to sit here and feel I don't feel as confident with RB3, but RB2, no. And that's going to be Rico and Zeke. Eshawn said Snoop will be on the practice squad. Also said don't do this. We do this every year, right? I mean, it is what it is. We all have guys that I think it's easier to root for, or not easier, but you want to root for these underdog stories. Snoop Connor has 42 rushing yards in his career, so he's an extreme underdog. He hasn't really been able to show much in his career, but for RB3, who was he fighting against? He's got a shot. I mean, I shouldn't say who was he fighting against. Royce is legit. But if Royce doesn't work out, I mean, Malik, who I think should be ahead of him, but Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn, who didn't show much, but I think he's more talented too. Who else is in? Oh, Pete. There's a lot of people that think Pete, is going to be this amazing player. It's just a lot of these type of guys are so. It's a long shot to the point where I appreciate the optimism, but let's see these guys out there in the heat of competition. Other than that, we just kind of having blind optimism on a guy like Snoop Connor, who there's just nothing there to really say he's RB2 in my opinion. Iceberg says RB3 is Royce. I would roll with Royce, Rico, Zeke, Deuce would be my running backs going into the season. Yeah, Malik. I agree with Willie T. I don't think Malik's going to make the team. Deuce is RB.25. RB3 is the only running back position up for grabs. Agreed. Training camp is going to be interesting, says confident Cowboys fan. Yeah, they can't really do much now. I mean, hey, somebody caught a pass, look good, moving around. But once they can hit a little bit, that's where I think you're going to see Royce too. Royce heavy behind his pass, but he can also get busy a bit. So I'm excited for preseason to see these backups. I was for Rojo, but he got busted. All right, Cowboys Nation, do me a favor, man. I know this is the second edition, but if you didn't hit the like button on the first part of today's show, go do that too. But hit the like button on the second one. We can hit that algorithm twice if we can, and help us out here as we move forward. So next week or tomorrow, I'm sorry, we are not done with the eyeballs down there, boots on the ground inside the Star. We got 2i joining us tomorrow with our Eye in the Sky with 2i, Aisha Morrison, DallasCowboys.com, Girls Talk, Boys Talk, and a lot other things she's got going on in her professional career. She'll be joining us tomorrow to give us her insight on what she saw down there. And that's the beauty of having, developing these relationships with a lot of people inside the building. You have Pat, who will give us everything that he saw, and I'm pretty sure 2i is going to talk about some players we may have not went in on, some things she may have noticed that we didn't discuss. And that's the goal here during these type of shows. I can't be down there yet, so we'll try to get people that are down there to give us their exclusive takes on it. And look, Twitter does a fantastic job too. These reporters like 2i, well, she's not a reporter, but the people down there, Pat, John, and them, Machota, they give us their takes via Twitter. But what I love about bringing them on the show is that they can go into further detail. And if you go look at Pat's tweets, amazing. But now come listen to what he was saying when detailing those tweets. And it's just something that you can't get via a tweet. And it's something, at least the very next day, you are not getting that on .com right away. You might get it now. They might have a show up there now. You're not getting that, in my opinion, on ESPN. Shouts out to Todd Archer, but Todd Archer ain't breaking down X's and O's and things or what have you like Pat would be doing. Archer got about 45 seconds to give the ESPN his overview of what happened at OTAs, where we can have Pat, we can have Aisha for 30, 40 minutes, and we're diving into it. So it's a very unique situation here that I do not take for granted at all. All right. Thank you, Edwin. With that said, good discussion with you guys. The chat, you gave us some good things to talk about. A couple of phone calls, great, and appreciate Patrick Nosey Walker for joining us here for the scientific method. Make sure y'all come back through tomorrow, Friday. Not a Fan Friday, but we do have a Fan Friday treat with 2i joining us. With that said,
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
I got you. Are we a little bit too down on Deuce? When I say we, I'm just speaking collectively for the Cowboys, but hey man, they blocked for this man. That's your satellite back. That's all I'm saying. We'll rap a little bit about it tomorrow. Love y'all. We out of here. Peace. rent free with these bums. I love it.
Bomb Squad!